Hi. Make sure to read the manual. The manual is going to supersede anything else I say today. We are here in front of the Cleveland SET10 kettle, okay? Just wanted to show you guys a couple of things, how to use it, simple use and care, okay? So first off, obviously, in this case, this is our digital screen. There's an on-off button, right? In the case that this is not a digital screen, there would be knobs. Really, the knob is going to be turning it on. There's a switch with it as well. But with this one, we're going to stick with this, right? So if you wanted to set the temperature, you'd hit the temperature button here. You'll see that that illuminates. You can set it to whatever you would like to. You hit it again to confirm, and then you can hit time, set your time, whatever it is that you want to set to. Hit it again. Now it's going to go ahead and tell us that it's heating, okay? It's preheating for us right now. If we wanted to, this is not, it's telling me it's done preheating, we're done cooking, because this is just as a show unit, right? This is not actually what it would be. If we wanted to, there's also a little port right here that is for this probe. So we could probe the product that we're doing in there to be able to get an easy way of not having to guess. You just know the temperature, right? Other things on this, obviously with the lid can stop anywhere. Before we tilt, we're obviously going to want the lid up, right? Another thing with the lid, sometimes people say, well, this is real loud, that you'll kind of hear it do this. If you just kind of pick it up just a touch and put it right onto that edge, it won't make any more noise anymore, right? Okay, so that's one thing with that. Another thing with the lid, pay attention to where this hose is, right? So if we have that in there and we're trying to push it in, it's kind of in the way, right? So make sure to get that out of the way, and that's gonna be true for all different sizes of these, okay? So this one doesn't have that hand crank. This one is a tilt because it's a countertop style. If you kind of see down here, there's this little latch and lever. Once we have that lid up, you're gonna kind of push down, and there we go. And it can tilt all the way down. We have a stand that can pull out. That's this guy right here. So now as you're tilting, we can dump down to there when it's time to clean. I'll get into cleaning here in a second. You might ask, what is this? This is a strainer for in here, okay? So if you're doing pasta and you wanna obviously leave the pasta in there and strain out the water, that's what that would be for. It's great for things like mac and cheese or spaghetti sauce you're doing later. Great thing with these are, you can do just about any style of cooking there is in these. It really is very impressive. You could do steaming, right? So just put another little insert in here to have it as a standoff, put the other pan on top, close the lid, crank it to 212 if you want to do 212 steam, you can do that. I like to actually do a little bit less, like 180, 190, then it's just a heated moisture, but it does a great job of protecting the product, so that would steam. If you put a pan in and had it dry, you can actually do baking as long as we're keeping it about 350. If you wanted to, I'm not telling you to, but this could be even a flat bottom fryer if you put in oil, right? Obviously it's a braising pan, a tilt skillet, so typically it's something for braising, but it really can do just about anything. It really is your redundancy within this. So, last thing before we get into cleaning, this may or may not be on your unit. This is a tangent valve, right? So you can do that. As you unscrew, this would open up the inside, so if you wanted to drain off, say you're doing like ground beef, you can drain off that, that grease without having to take the meat out of the pan. If you were doing soups, you could even have it go out through that. Big things with this are, when you are removing it, you're gonna undo it, and then once you pull that out, be very careful with this. So this little piece here, if it gets dropped on the floor, if it gets hit, if it gets nicked or cut, it's not gonna make as good a seal anymore in there, and that can lead to where you start getting a little bit of leaking. So you gotta take very good care of this part, okay? Put that back in, screw it on. Comes apart very easily, okay? So, how do you clean these things? I've heard a number of times before, oh, they're really hard to clean. It's not true at all, guys. All we gotta do is, once we're done, clean what we can out as far as scraping with it, right? And then, all you gotta do, put in water. Put in water, crank it to where it's boiling. I like to get a little nylon brush, turn it back off, and then once you let it boil for not long, 3 minutes, right? 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. Go ahead and go through and it just comes right off. It's very easy. Go ahead and empty it out and do it again if needed. Sometimes some of the things that are really seared on there are there, but it really does come off very easily by just adding a little bit of water, okay? You can add a little soap if you want, but really just water works great. If you do add soap, I'd go ahead and say oil it down afterwards. Take a little vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever it might be. Give it a little wipe down with that, and you're done. Okay? So this is the tilt skillet. It's going to be true for just about all the sizes that we have. There's a couple that are going to have either manual control, which is that hand crank, or we have the automatic control, which is just going to be a button that tilts it up or down. But all the same ideas are still around. Okay? Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it.